Meanwhile, Congressman Chris Stewart is a member of the House Intelligence Committee. He has been briefed on the attacks, and he joins us now. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us again. When you first heard that this suspect, this shooter, had been investigated by the FBI twice, once in 2013 for making inflammatory remarks, and again in 2014 for ties to a suspected terrorist, but then he was able to legally purchase a firearm. What went through your mind?
Well, I mean, I wasn't entirely surprised. The truth is that the FBI has been monitoring, and they're concerned about hundreds or maybe thousands of such individuals. And you can't apprehend them, you can't arrest them, you can't take away other constitutional rights just because they may be under suspicion. But I think it's a great indication of the challenge that we face. And that is, ISIS has become extraordinarily effective at recruiting individuals like this. We used to worry about people having some type of direct ties with ISIS, maybe going there and being trained in Syria or Iraq or one of these other locations that are so troubled. But we don't have to have those indications any longer. We can see that people here in the United States, American citizens even, who are sympathetic to some of their views, can act as lone wolves to devastating effect. It is a huge challenge for us. And as much as I mourned for those who we've lost, and we all do, and we want to comfort those who need our comfort, we also have to ask the question, how can we better protect ourselves?
Congressman, earlier I had a chance to speak to one of your colleagues on the House Intel Committee, Congressman Peter King, who said when an outstanding question that he continues to have right now is whether the FBI actually notified local law enforcement of their contacts with this individual. Is that a question that you know the answer to right now? Was there communication between the FBI regarding its contacts with this person and local law enforcement?
Yeah, you know, I would hate to comment on that directly. The truth is that I know that the FBI has close relationships with law enforcement officials all throughout the country, that there's pretty good communication between the FBI and other federal agencies and local law enforcement, but it's not perfect. It's a real challenge to, as I said, monitor so many people, but it's one of the questions that we'll certainly be looking at.
Congressman, I can see that you're wearing your pilot's wings there on your suit. I know you were an Air Force officer for many years. And I wonder, sir, Donald Trump has just put out a tweet reiterating that he is calling for a ban of Muslims. There are many military officers, both that are currently in the military and former, who have commented that they don't think that some of the things that Mr. Trump has proposed would keep us safer. Is it your contention, sir, that this ban that he is proposing is something that would prevent attacks like this from happening?
Well, I don't agree with that because, for one thing, it's impractical. I mean, among other reasons. And let me illustrate. Look, if you have Coptic Christians in Egypt, you have Yazidis in parts of Syria. How do you identify whether someone is Muslim or not? A Muslim terrorist could enter our country. You would ask him, "Are you Muslim?" and he would simply say no. Well, what are you going to do? Give him a religious test? There's no way for us to actually know that information. That's one of the reasons that I find it troubling. But I would like to come back to another point, and that is I believe Mr. Trump is right on this, though, and that is this. For those of us who are so devastated by this attack, we have to ask the question, as long as ISIS exists, do you think these attacks are going to go away? Because I don't believe that they will. And until we are more aggressive and more effective in actually engaging and fighting ISIS, something that we simply haven't done over the last 2 years, then I think, unfortunately, these are the types of scenarios we're going to spend too much time talking about.
What stepped-up measures would you like to see, Congressman, that you think are not being taken? What kind of measures do you think might help prevent another attack like this?
I think one of the first things we should do is start with the refugee program from Syria. And once again, we're not targeting someone because of their religious beliefs. We're targeting people from a specific area. We don't know, and we can't verify who certain individuals are in these very troubled parts of the world. We can't verify their documents. We don't know their background. We don't know their work history. We don't know who they've been associated with. So many of the Republicans in the House proposed and supported legislation saying, let's just put a freeze on that for right now. Again, just individuals from Syria, Iraq, until we can have a more verifiable process saying we actually know who these individuals are and whether they are a threat to our country. I think that's really one of the first places we should start.
Is that not the same thing, sir, as a temporary ban, what you're proposing?
Well, no, because it's not based on someone's religion or their ethnicity. It's based on where they are and the fact that they're coming from a part of the world that we simply don't have any control or any monitoring over. And I actually think they're very different. I think the second thing that we should do is we need to recognize that ISIS is using the internet to their advantage in a very compelling and a very persuasive way. I think we need to be more effective at trying to monitor some of that.
Congressman, as a member of the House Intelligence Committee, and without going into specifics, obviously, what are you learning, what have you learned and other members of that committee in the last year or so that has given you pause, that has given you concerns, and what steps are you, sir, and the rest of the Congress doing to strengthen our national security?
Well, look, we have a huge challenge, as I've said, I think probably twice now in this interview, and that is that we can't monitor and control every individual in our country. And without violating certain privacy rights, which none of us support doing, that challenge becomes even more difficult. So I think that's one of the things that we have to concentrate on. Another is, as we've said, know who's entering our country. We can use Europe as a model, I think, and learn some real lessons from them. Europe has as big of our challenges, oh my heavens. Europe's is much, much more difficult. They've done such an inadequate job of integrating their minority communities, the Muslim community. You have pockets of all throughout Europe where they just have absolutely no control and no monitoring at all of these individuals. And I think we can learn from that. I think we do a much better job at it, but we can't let our guard down.
Congressman, a short time ago we heard from the Council on American-Islamic Relations, which the leaders of which said to ISIS, I have a word to ISIS, you do not speak for us, you do not represent us, you are an aberration. I wonder, sir, how much do you think will intelligence officials, will the law enforcement community be reliant upon the Muslim community to try to thwart any kind of future attacks? And what is that relationship like as you see it?
Well, you know, we need to have partners not only throughout the world, but here in the United States as well. Partners in these individual communities who can help us. You know, we know that many times, and this may not be public, but I can assure you it's true, many times it's these individuals' friends and associates, sometimes people that they worship with, who have warned us or giving us a warning about certain individuals and allowed us to intervene and perhaps avoided a situation somewhat like this. That's true internationally as well. We can't defeat ISIS without some of our Muslim partners. And some of these are true partners of mine. King Abdullah, for example, one of the strongest leaders on the national stage right now. He's under enormous stress and pressure. We need to recognize the alliance we have with him, how he and others can help us as we engage in this battle. And this isn't something that we can do alone, internationally or domestically as well.
Congressman Chris Stewart, member of the House Intelligence Committee. Sir, thank you so much for speaking with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.